Hi. Oh yeah. I forgot that we got here. Okay, let's do this. Forgot to pull up my little dashboard thing. Okay. Yeah. So it seems like if I click off my game when I don't have the game paused or anything, like even if I'm in the main menu, it's gonna break my game. Like I just hold my shield out, so it feels like it seems like L1 is being held down or something like that. But if I have the game paused and then I click off the game and do whatever I'm doing, then it's fine. Kind of weird. Human drone. Didn't stick around in one place too long. Not here. Okay. I can do a summon here, huh? But why? That's why. Oh, you're in an empowered one too. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? That is a lot of damage. There was an attempt. Not as much damage as I was hoping for. Get your blood goop out of here. Oh, it slows me down too.
Oh dear. You might. Are you here as a customer?
I don't want to stick around here too long because I think that guy comes back. Dwelling arrows, huh? Bird bolt. I'll take your keys. I'll take. We'll just get home. That's fine.
I'm afraid.
Okay. All right. A Lord's Rune. Nice. I think we might have two of those now. Actually, I think we might have picked one up earlier. Let's go for 9. Nice. Oh, we have a hero's rune. 30, 25, 30, 50. How many do I need to level? 72, 8, so 73. This is what, 5? I need 73, 7,000. Keep working on that vigor a bit. Okay. Get out of here. Stream? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, the question is when do we feel good about our health? Because, like, if we're going to the Haligtree, I can get through it just fine until we get to Millennia. And once we get to Millennia, I'm gonna want, like, 50 in my health, so that we can survive her attacks. We probably want some endurance too. But like, I don't know what a good way to farm runes is really, because I didn't really farm a whole lot in my first playthrough. I just went and did all the dungeons that I found. Do all the bosses and all the everything. And so like, you don't really need to farm if you do that. Ooh, I dropped a little bit of frames. That's weird. Little hiccup. It's fine. Might be normal. For Mohg, let's give him a try. Hey, Jersey. This might be a little spoilery. Yeah. This is in a secret area.
Dearest Mikola, you must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
Dynasty. Dynasty. Alright, Dung Eater. Ooh, that's got a lot of reach. Be going for it. Alright, we burned through that pretty quick. Phase 1 down, phase 2 started. Don't spray me with your blood. Damn it. Don't roll into it either. What a way to start the day. Oh, I ran out of stamina. Don't stand in the blood fire. This dinner club, yeah. You do not want to frost, do you? That fight is usually a lot tougher. That Comet Azure wrecked him so hard. Mohg's Great Rune, Remembrance of the Blood Lord. First try, by the way, and that's like our second fight of the day today. I'll take it. I'll take it. Look at all the runes. Damn, he gave me 420,000. Gonna put that all into health. Well, let's do 35. And then, yeah, get that going up. Because I've been running out of stamina a little bit. Don't care for that. Our next level's at 82. We can probably get there. That's 30. So that's gonna be, I need like 6,000. Let's do this one. Get another level real quick like here. Get our endurance up to 25. Can I do anything over here? Can I take your ring? I see you're wearing a ring. There's nothing over here. We were over there earlier in our playthrough, so you can see this palace off in the distance from over there. I really like the way that FromSoft makes a point to let you see areas that you'll go to later. Like, it makes the world feel more connected. You know, they don't have these like big areas just for the sake of them being big. You actually go to most of the places that you see. Okay, well, we did that. That's good. I think this is like one of the best places to farm souls, I think. It's like right here. I don't know if I want to do actual farming or not, though. It's like we could just go do some dungeons and things. We have a lot of places to go explore. We need to do this town as well. I know what I need to do, though. What I need to do is go do this tower right here. But before I do that, I need to go get some Church of Vows. Elden Church. I need to go get some betrayal sticks. I don't know what I don't remember what they're called.
You again? I don't want it.
Bewitching branches.
All done? Well, you again? I don't want any. All done? Well.
Hopefully 4 is enough. I mean, if I mess up more than 3 times, it's kind of on me. So, let's go check Mohg's Remembrance. Also, since we are running around. Pretty sure we can get his staff. Receive power. Mohgwyn's Sacred Spear. Great Spear. Pierce. 24 Strength, 27 Arcane. Niana, good morning. Hi. How are you? How are you doing today? Blood Boon. Scatters blood flame before caster to set the area aflame. So this is good. This weapon, like, you can go to Mohg early. I don't know how much I would recommend going to Mohg early because he's a really tough fight, but if you can happen to get his spear early, this thing is a really, really good weapon. Its Blood Boon Ritual does a ton of damage, a ton of bleed buildup. It's got really good range because it's a spear. Not quite the build we're going for, but... I mean, like, if you kill Mohg early, you deserve that weapon, because it's a tough fight. Should we use his Remembrance right now? We have a Heroes Rune 3 with 25,000, but assuming that he gives us, like, 30 to 40, that's not going to be quite enough to level up, so let's hold off on that for now. I'm going to the right place, right? Yeah. Let's just get out of here. Come with me, buddy. Or not. How big would you say the world is compared to, say, Breath of the Wild? Question. That's a hard comparison because Breath of the Wild is really vertical. In a good way. Get him. I would say they're comparable sizes. Really vertical, and Tears of the Kingdom hasn't even released. Yeah. So, like, because for me, Breath of the Wild is... It's so fun to just climb things and then jump off of them. You know? Because, like, I think, I don't remember if you had tried Breath of the Wild or not, but you get a glider pretty early, and that's how you do most of your exploring. And so you're constantly, like, climbing up things and then jumping off of them, and it's great. Yeah, I played it quite a bit. Okay, yeah. So then you know. Elden Ring, it's big. It has some verticality, for sure. But it's kind of in some isolated areas. Which is kind of what you want, because there's no glider in this game. You have the springs, the spirit springs, to kind of get up to cliffs and stuff like that in, like, designated areas. Which is cool. I really enjoy that. My main complaint about Breath of the Wild is that there are areas on the map that are pretty empty. Could be a bit more dense in some places. Yeah, I would agree with that. Fuck. But I really don't have a complaint with Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild is probably one of my favorite games ever made. It's top 5, I would say. Really good. That first playthrough and just exploring places was so fun. Oh, I thought he was gonna leave me alone for a second. Crab? Would you like to come over here and break this, break this? Are you big enough to break that? Mr. Krabs? Mr. Krabs? Hi. Are you... Okay, you are aggressive. Thank you. But yeah, so I would say they're comparable sizes, for sure. Especially when you consider... Hi, I didn't know you were here. I don't know if I ever fought this before. You look different. Your head looks different. Just a real quick 14,000 damage. No big deal. And I even forgot to equip our new talisman we just got. It's a better version of the talisman we already have that increases our magic damage, or rather our sorcery damage. Big slammies. Ooh, big slimy one-shots. Yeah, I don't know if I ever fought this guy. Took me a while to warm up to Breath of the Wild since they changed the formula of the old Zelda games. I agree, yeah. So much. But now I'd say the same, definitely one of my favorite games, yeah. Played most mainline games since NES. Except Majora's Mask, yeah. Well, I found that cartridge a few years back. Maybe I'll dive back into it this Christmas. Yeah, I've heard that once you get into the swing of Majora's Mask, it's actually a very fun game, but it's kind of hard to get into because it's so different. Because you have that constant timer on you. Yeah, Breath of the Wild was great for me. I think my first time playing it was... Ouch. Speaking of timer, I'm actually playing through Outer Wilds right now. You played? I haven't played, but I watched a playthrough of it. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because now I know things about the game, so it wouldn't be quite as fun to play. Because that game is kind of like like Tunic you were talking about. Like, you should go into that game completely blind and not look anything up about it. At the time that I watched, though, I don't think I had my PC yet, so I didn't really have a platform to play it on. But that game is cool. Outer Wilds. What is that? Oh, okay, it's one of you guys. I see. I didn't full heal. Don't reach me. Okay. Well. Yeah, that's not full healing me anymore. I might have to track down some sacred tears that we missed. Stuns. Come on. Not too much. Okay. This one's kind of tough because I'll have to heal multiple times to full heal. And if I'm not full health, I don't think I can survive that slam. Oh, Dung Eater died, huh? That slam has such a weird timing. I would prefer if you, yeah, if you did that, exactly. No, a little late, a little late. He doesn't seem to want to frost. I wonder if that's because he's a magma worm. Okay, watch the foot on that one. Almost. Oh, I rolled right into it. I rolled directly into that. Okay, if we plan our beam a little better, and we stop Dung Eater from dying quite so quickly, I think we got that. No problem. We had awesome combat in New Game Plus at least, so I'll definitely return to that once more. Yeah, New Game Plus, I was playing Breath of the Wild in Master Mode. I started a new game in Master Mode. And I got far enough in it to say that, you know, I can do it. I killed some Leonins and I did one of the big dungeons and stuff. I did about a third of the shrines or so. But I would say in Master Mode, it really starts to show its weakness, which is not to say the gameplay or the combat, but the weapons. The weapons durability and them breaking all the time, because I don't find that to be a particularly fun mechanic. It's just kind of annoying because they seem to break so fast. Like you need to spend multiple weapons on each thing, on each fight you have, and it gets hard to find weapons. Like, I would say that's the main challenge in Master Mode. It's just finding weapons to use. Like, at the point that I'm at now in it, it's not as big a deal, because I have, I've used most of my Korok seeds for my weapons, and like my weapons are full, and I have the Master Sword, so that helps. But I hope they decide to go a little less with the durability mechanics in the sequel coming up here. Ooh, big jumpies. I just gotta stand here and take this. Oh, never mind, he didn't hit me anyway. Oh, man. There we go. See? Not so bad. Once we got our beam figured out. Dragon Heart. 3 of them. He had 3 hearts. Sure, why not? And a new power. That's gotta be a good power if it's way over here. And it looks like he was guarding an item of some kind. Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Well, that is some item to be guarding. Nice. I don't mind the weapon breaking mechanic. It's just ridiculous to how fast they break. Yeah, I agree. It's not so much the breaking I had an issue with, because like that's the kind of the main portion of the game, but like some of them have no durability, even brand new, and there's really nothing to help with it either. Like the only thing that you can do with it is learn how to parry all the time so you can get like counterattacks, so each hit does like the most damage it can. But like my favorite thing to do was like the flurry of blows where you dodge and it goes into slow-mo, but each one of those hits counts towards its durability, so you end up breaking them like as fast. You just can get a lot of hits in, so that I didn't care for too much. I'm a little curious about what that power was, because I don't think I've ever fought that guy. I'm gonna go check it out. Weapon durability is one of my least favorite things, but I hate that Breath of the Wild doesn't tell me how broken my stuff is. Yeah, it doesn't tell you until you're like 5 hits to breaking. Then it's like, hey, you better do something about this. Theodorix's magma. Okay, so it's the improved spew. Spews magma breath of Theodorix from above. Yeah, okay. Glintstone, Borealis' Mist. Okay, we got another dragon we gotta take on too. We haven't done yet. I was thirsty. I didn't hit the wrong button. Just want to take a drink. Alright. Let's get up to 40 vigor. Once we're at 40 vigor, why don't we try to go to like 70 int? Or at least 68 so that we can use moon. Because that could be good. Also, we increased our endurance a bit, so we can probably wear some better stuff now. Yeah, there we go. Apostles' Greaves. Twinset Blides. Scaled. Alright. Scaled? Nice. Okay. Full scaled? No full scaled. Not allowed. What about Blithe stuff? Yes. Awesome. Okay. Look at some good armor on now. I'm into that. Let's see, equipment. We got this Assassin's Crimson Dagger. We need to switch this out for this one. Greatly raises potency of sorceries. And in fact, we could switch out our Assassin's Crimson Dagger for the other one, so we can make use of both of them. Like this. Then with the Ritual Sword Talisman. That's kind of putting everything into sorceries. But if we can get our laser beam off, it kind of makes sense that we want to do that, right? Because each tick of that does so much damage. Otherwise, I guess for Millennia, switching back to Assassin's Crimson Dagger so that I can heal off of the ripostes, because we're going to be doing that a lot, is probably a smart idea. Anyway. Where are the rest of these sacred tears? That we've missed. I think we may have missed a church here. Is it this? No, that's something else. Maybe over here? I don't remember. We'll go check it out. But yeah, Breath of the Wild definitely has its problems. But I would say they're minor ones. And every game's got its problems. No game is perfect. Okay, this is just a little village. I never went and got that tree over there. I think that's the one with the worm faces, isn't it? As long as we don't get spewed on, we'll be fine. No game is perfect. It's true. Every game has its problems. Where'd the tree go? Did I run by it? Yeah. Slug? Name one problem in Tetris for the monochrome Game Boy. Goddamn worm face. Actually, music type B isn't as good as A or C. Do we even want to fight Wormface? I don't know if we do or not. I try not to fight Wormfaces so much. We're gonna have to a little bit when we get to a later area. Which we can get to right now, actually, because we've already killed Fire Giant. We just haven't lit the tree on fire. When we do that, it's gonna transport us up there. I remember for the original Game Boy? The original Game Boy, that, there was a game I used to play all the time. I don't remember what it was, but it was like an adventure game. I wasn't good at it because I was a small child, but I loved that game. Don't remember what it was, though. I think my dad ended up breaking it at one point because my brother and I were arguing over it. And then obviously, I don't remember if it was Game Boy as small child. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't Excitebike, I don't think, but it was like a racing game like Excitebike. And that was fun. So you would like do a race and like you could race a shadow. And like that was kind of like the main bit of the game. On original Game Boy. That was fantastic. And I bet it still holds up too, because like that gameplay is kind of timeless. Examine using X. Okay. Front of the rise, by the bridge, by the church. Oh, do I need to interact with it? Touch Phantom. Okay, and then we need to go to bridge, like here, probably. I guess let's just double check. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, original Game Boy games had some really good ones, and like just like NES too, and SNES, because they had such stringent like they only let certain games in, you know, like they had to be approved. The seal of approval or whatever, and that kind of fell off, but not to say there weren't some bad NES games, because there definitely were. There are some terrible NES games. we ended up getting a whole heap of NES games at one point at like from a friend, or it's like from a garage sale or something. So it was like 30 games or something, and in the old like cartridge holder thing is like made of wood. And I remember one of my favorite games that I ever got was from a garage sale, which is Azure Dreams for the PlayStation 1, which is like the best game you've never heard of. And trying them out, it's like, you know, out of the 30 or so games in there, there are like, I don't know, 5 or 10 that are like good to play. The rest of them are just like, it's either like, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand. Or just like, this is just hot garbage, and I don't know why. I mean, you played it because you had nothing else at the time when the game came out. Where's that damn seal? It must be further up. Maybe like here? On the road? Or maybe I have to do them in order? Okay, well there's an imp, so it's somewhere around here. Maybe I need to kill imp first. It's somewhere right here. So this is where he's spawning. Yeah, the childhood NES and DOS games. A lot of garbage ones out there, yeah. End up collecting a bunch more in my 20s. Look forward to my collection now. I miss the find awesome NES and SNES games. Thrift store days, yeah. Yeah, you can't really find them anymore. Like, you can go to like a retro game shop that like specializes in them. But where are you getting summoned from? Where do I need to go? Do I need to like trick him into going somewhere? Is that what's going on? Killing him didn't do anything. Aha! Gotta be careful, open up the cartridges and check the circuits to make sure you're not paying retro prices for counterfeit. Yeah. It's a silly thing, but it totally is now. Yeah, I believe it. It's so easy, because like, if you look at like a Raspberry Pi or something, those things are tiny now. So you could totally do that, because like, how much memory does a NES cartridge have? Like, a megabyte? If that? You know? So it'd be pretty easy to fake it, I'm sure. What's this? You guys mind if I just take that real quick? Thanks. I have nothing against repro if it's clearly marked. Not everyone can afford to pay $200 for an awesome one. Yeah. Well, I really like what the Switch has been doing with you can pay. I mean, I don't like that you have to use their online subscription to use it, even though it's only like 20 bucks a year, because their online sucks a lot. Just touch it. Thank you. But you know, they have an emulator right on there, right on the Switch, to play NES and SNES games. And you can't play all of them, but there are some really good ones on there. Like Ninja Gaiden's on there, Link to the Past, that stuff. Ninja Gaiden was my jam. I never beat it. I got really close once. I was on the final boss, and our NES it still has its original like AC adapter, but the plastic cover has been like removed from it, so it's just open on the back, and if you touch it wrong while it's plugged in, it'll zap you. I don't know why it was like that. That was just how it was. And so the thing was finicky. If you like bumped one of the cables, there was a chance that the game would reset. So I'm like on the final boss, and I'm doing this thing, and the cable ended up getting bumped, and the whole game reset. And I was like, well, that's enough of this for now. Unseen Blade, Unseen Form. It wasn't as bad as playing original Final Fantasy on the NES. And I had been up farming for like hours, because there's a spot, you can only save in certain spots. I think you have to rest at an inn. And I was like farming XP and money. There's like certain areas where you can go where you can fight way stronger enemies than you're supposed to. There's one pretty early in the pirate town. It's kind of near that, and so you can go up there and you can fight these super strong monsters, which is really tough. But they give a ton of XP and a ton of money. So I'm doing that, and I'm like, I have tents and stuff, so I'm like, you know, resting a bit, and then like I'd only go back when I have to, but you can stay out there for a long time if you're prepared. And my brother comes downstairs, and I stop him. I'm like, before you go any further, I've been farming for a long time and I haven't saved. So if you're gonna come over here, be very careful not to bump the AC cord, otherwise you will reset the game. And he goes, okay, and then immediately walks into it and resets my game. I just dropped the controller and just left. I had no words. We can go up here and kill the black knife that's up there. I think that's how we get the cerulean assassin's dagger. We also need to go get this. What's gonna be the best way to get up there? Probably from this grace. We can also go to the windmill town and kill the Godskin apostle up there. Switching to online thing is awesome. I just wish their 64 emulation was better. They have a N64 emulator? Oh, you gotta pay extra for that one, though. Right, I do remember that. They made a mess of Ocarina. Those been fixed. It maybe been fixed since, I don't know. But I have those original carts on 64 still, yeah. NES Ninja Gaiden was awesome. NES Ninja Gaiden is an amazing game. I can get to World 4 consistently, even now. But once I get to World 4, things start getting a little shaky. Don't do so well after that. I never finished it. It's so hard. It's such a hard game. Did we go down here? Also got Ninja Gaiden 2, barely played it. I've never played 2 or 3. Just one. I want 3 one day, but it's pricey. I bet. Yeah. Oh yeah, the dragon's up here, isn't it? But yeah, someday when PlayStation 1 emulators are around, and I mean, you can get one on PC and stuff, and I have my original PlayStation, so I could just hook it up and play it. But there's a game called Azure Dreams that I found at a garage sale for like $3, and it's so good. It's a roguelite dungeon crawler. And it's so good. Lightning ram. Hey, we can be a zappy lightning ram. Do your roll. There you go. It's great. The first time I noticed that the sheep roll around. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Stormcolor. Sacred Tear, gravel stones. Bunch of gravel stone. Dragon Bolt Blessing. I don't suppose I can survive this drop, can I? I can if I jump well. Not so bad. My best friend in grade school was playing Azure Dreams. I'd watch him after school. That blue dick bike, though. Yeah. I put a lot of hours into Azure Dreams. Never beat it. I got to the final floor, or maybe not final floor, but I got really close once. I think there are 40 floors in the tower that you climb. And it's a roguelike, so every time you leave, you have to restart at 1, but everything gets shifted around and is different again. So it's really fun to just go back in there and do it. And the whole thing for Azure Dreams, for people that don't know, is you can collect like monster eggs and then hatch monsters to bring them into the dungeon with you. And I preferred the monsters that buffed your weapon. That was my favorite. So like as you would do an attack, it would buff your weapon with an element and increase your damage. Otherwise you could get them to cast like fireballs or whatever sort of power they had. But they had limited MP, and everything they did cost MP, including moving around, I think. So eventually they would get tired, and then you would have to like put them back in your inventory or whatever. Roguelike, roguelite. Before the genre blew up, yeah. So I preferred the ones that buffed your weapons, and I got so far, I got up to level 37, and at one point when I was playing, I wasn't really, I had put it down for a while, and I came back to it, and I was playing around, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I ended up getting killed. And if you get killed in the dungeon, you lose your entire inventory. Your monsters stay with you, but you lose your entire inventory. And one of the main ways you get stronger in the game is you can collect armor, or not armor, but weapons and shields and other items, but weapons and shields, and then you can upgrade them permanently And as long as you leave the dungeon without getting killed, which is to use there's a wind crystal that'll do it, and I think there are a couple of other ways to leave the dungeon without getting killed. You can keep it, and then every time you go in, you get a little more upgraded, and it's hard to find the items because you need this like special sand stuff that'll upgrade it. But I had like a plus 28 sword or something, and I ended up dying and losing it, so I had to restart all the way over. Basically, I had a backup weapon, but it wasn't nearly as good. So that's where that run ended, I think. After that, never thought sure was true. Same friend got me into Final Fantasy Tactics, also a great game at that time. I bought Final Fantasy Tactics in 2011, 2012, the actual disc version, and it was expensive. It was spandy. One of my good friends, Mousimus, actually. I don't think Mousimus is here today. Mousimus is a huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan. Huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan. To the point where I was making our game group, our D&D game group, special cards. So what I did was I got an index card, and then I'll just show you. I'll show you mine. My Tactics disc still has a $17 sticker on it, the jewel. Nice. So this is the cards I was making them. I don't know if you can kind of see. But it's all the stuff you kind of need. It's a wet erase. We got them laminated, so it's wet erase. And then you have your health up here. I have 2 boxes for health. There are spots for your focus points and your hero points, and then all of your spells over here, spell slots. And then these are like your usable items down here, and like how many uses per day you have. Is that for D&D? Yeah, it is, and I made it. And I don't know if you can tell, but I colored them with colored pencil to kind of make them pretty. This is mine, so this is what I wanted. And then on the back, I made a special design for everybody. This one was the symbol of my god, because I was playing a paladin. I was a paladin of Amaru, which is basically not Bahamut, not Hamut, if you will, because we have our own pantheon. So Amaru was my deity, and that's a symbol. And I made everybody their own special one, customized to them. So for our druid, we did the 9 symbols of like the where druidic powers come from, of different representations. You know, you have the 4 elements, and then you have like animal, life, death, and then whatever other ones. For our rogue, it was the organization that the rogue was a part of, which is like they were like a secret police of the next country over, and it was like a dragon eye in a different symbol. And then for Mousimus's one, since Mousimus didn't have anything obvious because it was a secret, we didn't tell them we were doing this. I was like, hey, Mousimus, if you had like a design in mind that you wanted for something, what would you get? And he's like, the house symbol in Final Fantasy Tactics, with the lion. I forget which house it is now, because I haven't played that game in so long. And I was like, all right. So that's what I did for him, and there wasn't a good picture of it, so I had to basically recreate it from a very pixelated version in the game. And I think I did a good job. He really enjoyed it. But yeah, these cards work great. If I could, I would patent them and sell them, because they're so convenient. I've tracked I've tracked hit points on like regular paper for so long because I usually have a notebook that I keep my D&D notes in as we're playing. And then I'll track my health in the margins or whatever, on top of like doing little doodles and stuff. But it takes a long time, and especially if you're like stuck in a like mega dungeon, there's not a lot of notes to take, but there's a lot of health going on, so eventually you run out of space in the margins. But that Wet Erase one, where it's got everything you need in it, it's just very convenient. I really like it. I should put the design up on my website actually for it. Although there's not really like a printable version that you could do for it. I don't know how you would print on an index card. I don't think that would work very well. You'd have to do a lot of fiddling with a printer to get that to work, I think. And then even when you printed it off, you would still have to get it laminated, so it wouldn't really work too well. But if you wanted to do a little project, I don't know if I've talked about it, but I have the character sheet that I made on my website. Enemy disintegrated. Godskin peeler. Scouring black flame. But yeah, I have a Pathfinder 2E character sheet on my website that is you can get to my website there. And if you go to the website and you go to downloads, oh, my game just crashed. Oh, nope, didn't crash. Just ceased a little. Go to my website and go to the downloads tab. It's free to download. I have a form fillable version and a printable version. It is a 3-page character sheet if you include the spell sheet. Otherwise, it's a two-pager. And it's everything you need is on it. Because I was looking for some character sheets when we started our 2E game, and there weren't really any there. They all had their issues. They were like, is a lot of wasted space. Most of them are like 4 pages. The official sheet is like terrible. Why did I just slash right now? I do not care for the official sheet at all. And so looking around, I was like, nothing here is what I'm looking for. I should just make my own. And then I did that. 30,000. And there we go. It's probably enough. I'm very happy how it turned out. You can also find a link to the sheet. If you don't want to follow that link, you can also go to the Pathfinder subreddit. I don't remember which one. I think it's the Pathfinder 2E subreddit. And I have the I have a link to it in their about page where all the other character sheets are. So you can compare and things. And if you want a lot of sheets with like a bunch of dead space in them, then, you know, be my guest. It's just not what I wanted. Stars of Ruin is probably what we're gonna use, if anything. Otherwise, we're just gonna parry him to death. There's the buffs. There's another buff. Oh, my controller is broken. My R1's not working. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, that's why it slashed. I thought that was weird. Oh, I probably gotta wait for it to sync. But yeah, I guess while I'm here, I can show it off. If I can find it. Homebrew. Oh, it's in sheet. Got it. Here it is. So this is the Pathfinder 2 e-sheet that I made. I like it. I think it looks good. And it's got everything that I want on it, anyway. Turn that light back off. I'm still not feeling great today. And being in the darkness feels good on my eyeballs. You can do it. How's it going, Armless James? I didn't see Steve on today. Board contenders. All right, let's see if we can riposte this time. We got the parry. You know what I should do is I should buff first. That'd be smart. It's today off. I think stream tomorrow. Okay, that's good. Hopefully, nothing too serious. Can you not spam so much, sir? Thank you. Dirty spammer. Get out of here. Oh, missed the parry. Usually that attack is like extremely easy to parry, but uh-oh. Run out of Estus. Not Estus. The Zappy's hurt. Came to lurk, but see who kills some baddies. Yeah. As long as I don't mess this up. I messed up! Okay, there it is. Yeah, our first kill today was, a kind of stronger enemy in, the Mohg Palace area. He's like a bleed guy. Like a noble, sanguine noble, I think he is. And then our second kill today was Mohg himself, so it was a way to start the day. I've just been trying to get some stuff done so we can get some levels, so when I go to the Haligtree, I don't get wrecked immediately. Vikings twat, I had to go and dodge a roll and clunky moveset, yeah. I've been trying to get good, TM with the buckler here. Mohg, which one? The actual one. We killed fake one earlier, so it was real guy. And I have this awesome setup, so this is my second playthrough. My first playthrough was basically melee only. My first playthrough, or this playthrough, is I have this setup where I buff, and then I laser beam forever. And it doesn't use any FP because of the cerulean, the hidden cerulean tier that I have in my physic. And now it just wore off. And if I hit them with that, it does about 15,000 damage. Which at this point in the game is maybe like 40% of a health bar. Which is a lot. I mean, it pushed Mohg in the face too. And then Dung Eater and I just kind of wrecked him after that. Yeah, I went strength first and then int. Yeah, my first combo's broken, just don't try it on the big celestial bull. Falling Star Beast, you talking about? We haven't fought a Falling Star Beast yet. Our weapon's already plus 10, so I don't really have to like go seek them out or anything. Whatever it's called, full grown, yeah, Falling Star. Full grown Falling Star Beast. That's a rough fight. But we did Mohg today first try, which was cool. I mean, I have Dung Eater in that broken combo, so I guess it's not like super impressive, but I did kill him first try. I'm pretty happy with that. I need to farm a little bit of runes because I don't want these to go to waste. There's a good place to do that. I tried that move combo on him so many times, it got wrecked. Yeah, I did it right. I got really lucky because he was focused on Dung Eater, and right when I started it, he started doing his chant for the first time, and then he got stuck in like a chant combo. He went from first one to second one, then into third one. I missed Mohg. Yeah, you missed Mohg. That was like 10 minutes into the stream today. Stupid dumb work meetings and the fact I have to be in them. Sorry, Deanna. Dung Eater best summon. Dung Eater is amazing. Like, I really underestimated how good he was, because in the first playthrough I didn't get him. And then there's I can get him in here actually. And I was like, it's okay, because I had Mimic tier. In my first playthrough, my build was dual wield greatswords. I had the Claymore and the Knight Sword. And I jump attacked my way to victory, which is a broken combo as well. And now in this one, I got Dung Eater, and man, is he good. Now we're getting Ever's Pain. Yeah. Oh, I'm in combat, I see. Can I beam you to death? I gotta hit you, though. That's a lot of damage. And it's an instant knockdown, too. Wow, I never knew that. That beam is good. I also underestimated that beam. I don't use weapon arts enough. We learned that with the Moon Veil earlier this playthrough too, because like, it wasn't until halfway through our playthrough that I realized that Moon Veil weapon art is completely broken. It does so much damage. We're getting close to having enough health now that I think I might be able to survive the arrows, so we can try to go do this. It's gonna be rough though. I got stuck here for a long time on my first playthrough. I also don't have the torch to reveal invisible people, so that could be an issue as well. That's gotta be fast. Alright, wish me luck. I should have done a mock run through of where I need to go. It's okay. Let's see. Probably this one first. The rooftop archers I might be able to hit with Comet or the Great Bow. I don't know if they'll have enough range or enough damage, but we can check. Okay, there are like 4 of them, right? I think there's one up there, and then there's one right there, and then the other one's on the ground level over there. I think that's all of them. I think it's just the 4. Come on, arrow. Oh, you don't do nearly enough damage. We can get closer and try Stars of Ruin. Otherwise... Sword Beam? Ugh. Not really a good option here. That one's gotta die though, because I think she can hit me on the ladder. Okay. It's not a lot of damage. It is enough damage. Look at all the arrows. Okay. Try not to draw too much attention to ourselves. Let's not fall for the trap that's set right there. Hit. Well. Oh, they stopped. I don't know why, but I'll take it. I better just heal up. If one of my spells were faster, I could do that. Loretta's great bow just takes too long to charge up. But I won't be able to reach them otherwise. Like, Comet won't reach. I think I have Radigan's icon on too. Oh no, I don't. I could switch to that. Give me a little bit of time. But the great bows I think are still gonna be faster than me. You don't want to shoot me right now, right? No, of course not. Alright, so that's 2. That one's number 3. We should probably get that one last. But I would have to find a way to get both of those rooftop archers dead. Oh no, today I get to work every day till the end of November and I'm already tight. I'm sorry, Deanna. That sucks a lot. New study then, I'm assuming? Alright. Well, we're gonna die a couple of times doing this, so we're just gonna have to figure out the best way to go about this. If I hit her with Great Bow, she'll probably get pushed backwards. And the problem is, if I can hit her, she can hit me. Rooftop Archers a From game, go figure, yeah, I know. And these ones are way worse than the Rooftop Archers in Anor Londo, because they fire multiple arrows that track you. We could just charge them and kill them on top. I'm not super confident in fighting them though. I'm gonna hit my physic for the regen. Okay, that's one. I'll have to go kill the other one too before we go hit that last. I don't even know what this is. Torch? Not really a torch. It's a light flame. Oh, it is a torch. Oh, okay, I see. It's a little candle. Cute. New study looking at chronic alcohol and brain activity. So I have to administer alcohol 14 days in a row and then spin the mice in a circle and see what happens. That sounds not super fun, but okay. All right. Let's buff this again. Not get killed by the invisible enemy down here. Like that. Goddamn black knife. Just light it. A seal was broken in town. We did it. First try. Easy every time. I have no idea how I survived. Hey, it's not for you, kitten. I know it's a crinkly bag, and that usually means treats, but... I still feel sick today. Not as bad as yesterday, though, so I think I'm over the hump. Justice for kittens. Alright. Let's go die a bunch. I'm just gonna run through all this shit. There are some items to get here, but I just don't care. I'll kill you because you're large and in charge. Don't. Not sure if I can... Oh, time to go. Camera shut off. I got it. Warming stone. Don't rot me. Well, there it is. Just gotta be quick about it now. Getting through places is a lot easier when you don't try to pick up the items. Do we have any impressive runes? It's just a Newman's rune, huh? 13. Oh. Guys. Trying to remember where to go. I don't know where this leads. I'm just gonna steal your item, okay? Thanks. Let's see if we can run through. I know, I see you there. Do I go this way? I think this is a drop down or something. There was an item right there. I kind of rolled with. Which is what you don't want to do. There's a somber... There's like a plus 10 item to get you to plus 10 over here. I remember. Would you just die already? It might be that. I don't remember if it's a regular dragon smithing stone. Yeah, it is. The regular ones aren't as desirable to us. We need the somber ones. Rune 12. Don't quite remember how to get through here. Do remember there are you guys, though. Ow. Those crystallians will keep respawning if you don't kill the worms. But I guess if we're not gonna hang out, we can just run through. Yeah. Spirit collar snails. Don't beam! New plan. I gotta remember that I have range capability. I hope this is where I'm supposed to go. I got stuck. No shortcut. Close. We're learning. I think we got it this time. Let's try Comet. Can I do it in 2 with Comet? I can indeed do it in 2 with Comet. Okay. Shit, the other one saw me. Excuse me. Sir? There we go. Okay, now we just gotta do the boss. And then we get a better spell, too. I remember. Newman's gives us 12.5. Don't quite have enough. Alright, let's go give the boss a try. We should be okay. She's gonna jump around a bit. But I think we'll be okay. I've never tried to parry her before. Yeah, I don't know how much of a good idea that is. It's fine. Easy. Everything's easy with Dung Eater. Loretta's War Sickle. Okay, let's start working on our int. 93, we might be able to get there. 70, 80, yeah, we got enough. And then spell. Right. Memorize spell. So let's put, let's keep Loretta's Great Bow on. Oh, interesting. Comet and Loretta's Great Bow cost the same. Never mind. We'll remove it. We'll just use the one. Only one slot, too. Nice. Unleash Dark Moon soon. We never did go get our frost spell. Oops. Stars Ruin. Probably a better way I can organize these, but this is fine. All right, let's go get our greatsword, our frost greatsword. Haligtree Promenade. That's where we're at. Moonlight Altar. I kind of want to test the damage of this thing, but later. He's gonna be hard to beam. Especially if he's gonna be looking at me. Too far away from his respawn point, huh? Like, you flew over there. It's a little too far away. Whoa, okay, Dragon Sith. That did no damage. He's probably super resistant to magic. Unlock. Oh, convenient. Oh, except I ran into it. Stupid. I gotta learn how to dodge that. Could you get staggered, please? And not kill me? Thank you, Dung Eater. Dragon Heart, Duelist Moonblade. Decent amount of souls, too. It's nice. Alright, so now, why don't we put that right after that? This Moonblade. Then we got, Woodstone Ice Crag. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do Comet. Stars. Great Bow. Terra Magica. Comet Azure. Okay, what if I put on Radigan's Icon? How fast can I swing this? It's not bad. It's not enough for me to want it. Okay, we need to test damage. There's gonna be a good place to do that. We should probably level up first, though. I mean, we could just throw the Stargazer Heirloom on, instead of the Blissed 2 Talisman. We can test damage on this guy out here. Okay, we'll do Moonblade first. $892 if you hit with everything. Okay. Seems good. Let's check Great Bow. $887, although I think one of them didn't hit. Mausoleum Knight Greaves. Nice. And then, compared to Stars of Ruin, if we can hit with all of them, that's gonna be a tough thing, because this guy likes to teleport around. Yeah, so that may have done comparable damage had he stayed there. How much does our Ice Crag do now? We haven't really used that at all. The idea for me is to have this on to just to make sure that they get frostbit. 653. Yeah, it's making it more powerful because we're wearing the hat too. And then Comet, a charged up Comet does 1114. Okay. So Ice Crag does very respectable damage, actually. And then let's see a buffed beam without hitting the sword. 1430. It just takes forever, but man, that's a lot of damage. I think if we hit with the sword blade, it'll do sword damage as well as buff damage. Yep, sure will. So it's almost worth it just to use this thing. If we can get a buff going and we can get this, if we have time for the charge, that's a tricky thing, is getting the time for the charge. Because this will also do frostbite buildup. It's just gonna be tough to hit. Not as easy as Moonveil. Let's check Moonveil, speaking of. It's not plus 10 yet. I want to see its weapon art, though. A lot faster, but does about half the damage. At plus 10, it would probably do another 100 to 200 more damage. than that. But, yeah, it's good. For sure. Okay, just trying to weigh my options here. Oh, we never went and turned in our quest at Volcano Manor. Why don't we do that? Where are you, Volcano Manor? We might be fighting Rykard today.
I see that you've stayed the path of champions. This is your usual reward. Please, take it.
Taker's Cameo.
Perhaps you are ready. Might you see our Lord? Our Lord will no doubt welcome you. Another kindred spirit, treading the path of champions.
See the Lord.
Yes. As it should be. Now, close your eyes for a moment. I will transport you to the Lord's chamber. Farewell, then. May your visit be fruitful.
She's definitely not trying to feed me to a giant snake. Right. And we had gotten here earlier. Now, the question is, how do I get that armor? Because that's the whole reason I did this quest, is so I could get the armor of the guy in the, like, all the promo art.
Won't you consider our Lord?
Brave Tarnished, what is your business here? I'm afraid this is not a guest room. What's that peculiar look upon your face? Goodness, am I still a serpent? Oh, how dreadful. How dreadful indeed. Oh, forgive my distress. I ought to be thanking you for treating me as usual, despite this appearance. Brave Tarnished, this is my true form. My real name is Zarias. Please forgive the deception. Do understand. This duplicity is my own doing. Lady Tanith speaks no falsehoods. And the Volcano Manor is just as it seems. Lady Tanith is my mother. I am told I was born by the grace of a glorious king. That my mother cherishes this form I inhabit. I am proud of what I am, but people are cruel. If they saw my true form, they wouldn't speak to me. And so I assume a guise when seeking new recruits. But you are not like the rest. My serpentine form and the name Zarias were secrets. Known only to Lady Tanith and I. Now I share the secrets with you as well. Please keep them safe from anyone else. My serpent was secret.
Okay.
Now.
Look at you. A recusant through and through. I knew you had it in you. Take this. A special invitation to hunt some of the first Tarnished who sat at the Round Table hold. If you should accept, I'll next see you on the field of battle.
Excuse me.
You're still alive?
Yeah, okay. So now we gotta go do Bernal's quest, which is over here. Right. Bargrim. That's how we get it. Can I continue her quest? Zarias. Whatever her name was before. I don't even remember.
Won't you consider our Lord will...
Nay. I cannot continue her quest. I did an oops. That's fine.
Hello again. Are you surprised that I belong to the Volcano Manor?
Not at all.
I always hated the gibberish about lost grace and the laughable two fingers. I thought I could lend a hand in unmasking the charade. Not to mention, Tanith has always made me curious. I guess her master must really be something, because she's pretty damn smug about it. Even after announcing her blasphemous ambitions, she still stands proud. I've never seen a woman quite like her. Cheers for that.
Alright. Let's go do this. We never did go in here. Yeah, there's a summon there. And I think I'll get invaded. And, oh. Nope, never mind. There's just armor sitting in there waiting for me. Flightless bird. Bolts, Two Fingers Prayer Book. All right, let's go fight that fight. I guess. Vargrim the Raging Wolf. Errant Sorcerer Wilhelm. Wilhelm? Little 2-on-2 action. Nice. Raging Wolf set. The whole reason I've done this quest.
I have the reward from Lady Tanith. Take it.
Ilmir's
Let us
Fury.
tread the path of the recusant together till we reach the miserable death that awaits us.
What a nice outlook on life. Alright, Raging Wolf armor set. It's lighter than the scaled set. Not as good as the scaled set. Actually, look. Didn't really get a chance to look at it. It looks nice. Yeah, it looks real nice. Alberic's pointed hat. I like the hat a lot. And then... oh yeah, Oslo's helm. Raging Wolf. I like the Raging Wolf helmet. Looks nice. Alright, time to go kill, Rykard, I guess. Audience pathway. Before we get into this, I'm gonna take a quick break. So I will be right back. Now I'm back. I must have double-clicked my mute button. Good thing I checked. Alright. First things first. Fat. Still too fat. Really? Are you sure? Jesus, that scared me. What's that? Alright, that'll work. Alright, and then I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna upgrade our spear a little bit. Wow, my chats are super delayed. Are they? You can try to refresh.
Well, where have you been hiding?
So I just said now I'm back loudly to break sounds. Oh.
No matter. Lay out your arms.
Yeah, you might want to refresh the stream then to catch up. Somber 4. Alright, well, it's +3, which is +3 more than it needs to be. So. Stars of Ruin. I guess we'll set this up. I don't think it's going to be worth it. We should just use this thing. Mimic tier. Why are you not here? This one you want to use Mimic tier for. Alright, let's do it. No staggers? There it is. Alright, time to leave. Time for cutscene.
Very well. Join myself and King as family. Together we will devour the very god.
Makes me gag every time. The fingers are him pulling a sword out of his throat. Yes. Thank you for stagger. Rykard's Great Room.
I servant never died.
Nice. That's a fun fight. So, I don't think you need to use the serpent, what is it, Serpent Hunter? Yeah, Serpent Hunter. But, highly recommended to use the Serpent Hunter. And there's a guy that shows up in the Volcano Manor very briefly that tells you about it. Alright, let's see what we can go make with this soul. And the Serpent Hunter is actually a very good weapon. The cool thing about it is that it doesn't require any stats. So you can use it at Rune level 1. Any sort of build, you can use it. It's a little heavy, a little on the heavy side, 12 units. But it does good damage. Its moveset's pretty decent. Receive Remembrance Power. So we can get the Blasphemous Blade. Which is, I don't know. It looks sticky. Sacred Sword of Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. Remains of the countless heroes he has devoured writhe upon the surface of its blade. Now they share the same blood, bound together as family. Some HP is restored upon defeating an enemy. Raise Sacred Sword aloft, set it ablaze with blasphemous flames, and then bring it down to fire off a forward blast. The flames steal HP from those they touch. It's nice. Summon searing spirits that leave a trail of delayed explosions in their wake. These spirits manifest from the rancor of heroes who met a violent end. The Lord granted them an audience, whereupon they were welcomed by the maw of the great serpent, and within the serpent's bowels, they became the Lord's kin.
Wow.
Seems, fun. Can I buy anything? Royal Knight Helm, Loretta's helmet. Silver Helm of Loretta, the knight who served Michaela's Haligtree. Loretta, once a Carian knight, went on a journey in search of a haven for Albinorix and determined that the Haligtree was their best chance for eventual salvation. Royal Armor, Royal Knight Gauntlets, Royal Knight Greaves. Alright, yeah, sure. Cool. Spears. Alright, let's eat this. Hey, 50k! That's a new top. So if we wanted to, we could go dupe that soul quite a few times, because I haven't really used any of the Wandering Mausoleums. We can dupe that thing for the runes and get up to level. Although I think if we just keep going, because we're pretty close. We need 3 more levels before we get to 68, and then we can put the rest into Vigor. And get it up to at least 50. So, we'll do that if we need to, but I think we are good for now. I'm gonna go back to... Where is Rykard's... There it is. Arena. I must have to light the tree on fire first. Because Tanith isn't here right now. I wonder what she's gonna say.
It's true then. You've defeated our Lord. No.
Yep.
I must thank you. Our Lord was yet weak. You have taught us that defeat is not the end. Our Lord is immortal. and will one day rise again. Stronger. Until then, I must stay the path and do my part. I will leave the Volcano Manor before long. I suggest you do the same. I will miss these encounters. The champion who walks the tainted path shines all the more. I always was an admirer. This is farewell. Perhaps we will meet again along the path. This is perhaps... This is perhaps...
Uh-huh. Hi, Tam. My thanks. The guy who shows up sits right here. He was like a follower of Rykard. And he's like, but what he's become is...
So, you killed Rykard. I harbor you no ill will. The strong take. Such is our code. Even he was prepared to meet a wretched end when he first took blasphemy unto his very flesh. But any road, the Volcano Manor is no more. Though we may yet fulfill an old promise. We hunted our own kind, and took what was theirs. And with everything in hand, the time has come to rise against the Erdtree. O greater will, hear my voice. I am the recusant Bernal, inheritor of my brother's will, and you will fall to my blade. We refuse to become your pawns. Consider this fair warning. O greater will, I am the recusant Bernal. We refuse.
I wonder who his brother is. I don't think it's Rykard. So Rykard is Ronnie and Radahn's sibling. Maybe one of his children? I don't really know. I don't know where Zaraya went. She disappeared. Is she up here in the temple? Maybe she disappeared forever now. Now that we've progressed to this. I know there's a thing with her where you can give her this item that you find up here after you defeat Godskin Noble. Yeah, I don't know. Has she moved yet? Yes.
Oh, you... Allow me some time. Our lord's carcass is vast, and not easily consumed. Dear Rykard, please, find purchase within me. I wish to be your serpent, your family. One day, let us devour the gods together. Dear Rykard, I wish to be one day.
Uh-huh. So, just eating away. Looks, tasty.
My lord, Rykard.
Baited by Tanith's Knight. Hello. Aspect of the Crucible. Breath. Consort's mask. Consort's robe. Consort's trousers. Well, now that that's done. I guess we continue with the Haligtree. Actually, before I do that, I want to see if we can do this first. Just be held still. Okay, we must have to burn the tree first before we can fight that fight. We've done a lot of the remembrance bosses though. I can only think of really maybe 2 other ones that we're not like going for quite yet. One of them is in an area we can't get to yet. We need to burn the tree first. Where's the trap? Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. We have like 3 of those now. But I need the somber ones. I need at least 1 more for our staff. The Carrion Royal Scepter. And then I would like another one for Moonveil, in case we want to switch. Particularly for Millennium. That could help us get some extra damage in on her. Race Haligtree. Stabbed him. I really do not know how to fight these ones. Or we might have to learn. Although I think a lot of them can just be avoided. Don't explode. There's no need for that. I think we can hit that button. I'm almost positive. And if we can, I'm gonna do it because that'll skip like this whole area. Too far. Way too far. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try until I hit that button square. Oh. Getting all the pants. Ivory draped tabard. We just don't want that Rykard Guardian to notice us. That avatar there. Otherwise it's gonna shoot projectiles at us. Okay, straight in the doorway. Basically in the same spot. I guess we could just try to roll off and see, but... I mean, it looks like I just missed it. Yeah, I'll just walk off this time. I mean, I know you could have done this in a previous patch. Maybe they got rid of it. That would kind of suck if they did. Because then we're going to have to run all the way through. No, you didn't hear anything. Just turn around and continue your patrol. Okay, I hit it that time. So yeah, it must not work anymore. They must have patched it out. Unless there's some other way that I can get that. Just out of range. Uh, we're over 100,000 runes to level up now. What level are we? 126. I don't really remember the way through this place. I don't know if I need to go down there where the Guardian is. Or the Avatar. I don't know why I want to call them Guardians. I don't remember what's this way. Michelin Knight's Sword. Cool. Where we came from, or is this one level up? That's where we came from. Yeah, there's a door over there, but I don't think that door opens. Wind-ups. I remembered there was a guy there too, and I still didn't see him. I'm like, I must have been thinking of a different spot. Immediately stabbed in the back. Let's just go over here. You ignore me, I'm fine with that. Whoa! Time to go. Alright, we're good. Ow. Parry him between his attacks. You'll never see it coming. That's fine. Man, his moves are wonky. At least for me. I don't know. Delays just enough. Screws me up. And all of his attacks seem to have different timing. I mean, this is like end game. This area, so makes sense. There's a really good weapon over there, but you got to kill these three guys. Well, I don't know if you got to kill them. You might be able to open that chest. I think it's in the chest. But there's a rotten crystal weapon over there, so it builds up rot. Heroes Room 5. How much is that? 35,000. Nice little rot fall. These butterflies you can't actually pick up. Those ones you can. Got a shrimp over there though. That is not the one that I wanted to drink. Don't roll in it, stupid. You know what I should have done? Is had a like a dagger on me with quick step. If we die trying to get through here, that's what I'll do. Ow. No! So close. So close to freedom. Okay, hopefully we have a dagger with quick step. Yeah, I don't need any of that stuff. Switch to chest. Quick step. There we go. We could upgrade that dagger too. We might want to do that actually. With that 140 crit. Although our dex is terrible, so. Don't know. Okay. Let's kill the one shrimp first, and then we'll quick step through this. Yeah, he notices us regardless. Okay. Why am I fat? Because I put that dagger on my bar. I didn't plan for that. Question for you. Go ahead. Is it had something to do with taking the dagger out of my chest? Then I read your church, so maybe another time. Yeah, I used to work IT, and my dad got me this for some Christmas, so. Still too much. Nox. Alright. Did you actually have a question? Because I might be able to help you. Because I used to work IT. Depends on if you want to fix my computer or not. No, I didn't. I get it all the time. Which is fine. I liked working IT. It was good. A lot to learn all the time. It's always something new. Although I will say, most problems, I get it, I don't even work in IT, yeah. You can fix 95% of your problems by turning it off and turning it on again. And I'm not even kidding. I think there's a reason that people say that so much. Don't mind me just doing the scoop. Almost made it through without getting rotted. Open room 10. Where is the way to... There it is. Family literally thinks I'm a printer technician. Yeah, printers are the worst. Just software dev though. As a guy who used to work on like Cisco networks and had to deal with peripherals and things, printers are always the worst. Scanners are a close second. But printers, man, sometimes they'll just be like, you know what? I don't want to be this static IP that you gave me anymore. I want to be something else. And it's like, you don't even have a lease. Like, why are you changing? So annoying. You know, I think I'm just gonna leave that on my bar, because we may want to upgrade that. Even if our dexterity isn't very high, it still might do more riposte damage than our sword. We'll have to do some testing. I'd have to get it upgraded all the way though. That might take a while. Oof. There's a really good item somewhere around here. I don't remember where it is though. But yeah, as IT, I can't tell you how many times I get a call of like, this thing isn't working. And then it's like, did you power it on? We were out one time doing a job, and I was working nights, and it was winter and snowy. Generally not good weather. And we get a call from these guys. And they're maintenance guys, and maintenance has a reputation for being not super smart, like plain maintenance guys. And they're like, hey, our radios aren't working. And we're like, okay, like the handheld radios. We're like, all right, we'll be right over. And it's like a 15-20 minute walk from where we were, in the snow, at night, in the cold. We get over there, they didn't switch it on. They didn't power it on. And we're like, really? You called us over for this? And so they're like, okay, whatever. The next night, they call us again. Hey, our radios aren't working. And we're like, did you power it on? And they're like, yeah, the lights won't come on though. And we're like, okay, let's go take a look. So we walk back over there. They unplugged it. Somebody unplugged it for reasons unknown to me. I don't know, to charge a phone or something. And so after that, we just put a note on it that says, do not touch this. man. The joys of working in IT sometimes. But anyway, we're here. This is Millennia. I don't even know if I want to give it a try right now. I guess we should see if we're gonna get one shot.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return. Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
Hope you get used to that. You're gonna be hearing it a lot. Or 68, 1837. Okay. It's got a weird timing to it. Haha, she missed. Do not touch this MC Hammer. That'd be can't touch this, and I would not put a sticker can't touch this on a radio, because that's just inviting disaster. Alright, come on, let's do this. Okay, that one's early.
I am Melania, Blade of Mikola.
That voice line, while fine, after about, 6 hours of hearing it, starts to wear on you, just as a heads up. I want to see her waterfowl dance, and I want to see how much damage it's going to do to us. We're going to have to get her down a little bit, though. I could summon Dung Eater. I need to equip the Assassin's Crimson Dagger too. I forgot. Okay, her sidestep is earlier than you think it is. Oh. Okay, the grab will one shot. The grab will one shot. Not sure if there's a lot I can do about that one. All right, let's get Dung Eater summoned just to see her waterfowl dance, and then I want to see how much I can upgrade our dagger. Yeah, let's switch this one out. We'll do Assassin's Crimson Dagger. And we're gonna switch our Graven for the Dagger Talisman to enhance our crits. Too heavy. So let's go to this. Still too heavy. Traveler's Gloves. Hey, there we go. She does not want to get frosted either. Okay, she can be frosted though. Is this it? Not yet. No riposte. Ugh. Man, she didn't do it. I mean, good RNG normally, but kind of bad. Trying to see what's up. I want to parry her too and see what my damage is with the Assassin's Dagger on. So let's do that. This time. 21, 31, so 300 more damage. What I would really like to do is get her into phase 2 and then summon Dung Eater, if possible. And then just kind of try to smash our way to victory. We'll see. Her attacks luckily don't seem too hard to parry. It's just, you gotta get her 3 times before you can riposte her. And anytime you mess up, she's healing on you. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Because we messed up the first roll. The second roll, we dodged it entirely, so we might be able to do it. So if we can roll the first and second one, and then maybe just tank the third one. I wonder if a certain form of conditions way. Sounds like this millennium. Okay, test 2. I know we're usually past end time, but I want to test how easy it is going to be to set up our beam. So let's get Dung Eater out. Once she gets locked onto him, oh, she don't like that though. She has things to say about that. And it wore off. Okay. That's gonna be a hard setup in that case. Might be worth just doing like Stars of Ruin. Waterfowl. Shit it up, Dung Eater. Oh, I missed it. Missed it again. Falling apart here. Your beam is crazy? Yeah. It does a whole lot of damage. Can't parry the kick.
I am Melania.
Okay. So, the only time I'll be able to use the beam is when she transitions into phase 2. To get any sort of use out of it. And I don't know if I'll have time to set up the Terra Magica. It just takes too long when I could instead be doing damage to her. The problem with that is if I try to save Dung Eater for phase 2, I'm gonna have to figure out a time that I can get him summoned. Because if I use that time to do damage, I won't be able to summon Dung Eater. Unless I try to summon Dung Eater and then beam as much as I can. That's a play. We'll have to figure it out. This is the toughest fight in the game. In my opinion, toughest boss in FromSoft games, period. So it's gonna be a little rough figuring it out. I've beat her once before, so it's definitely possible. But we'll just have to see. With that, I think we're gonna call it here. I think we're in a good spot. Tomorrow, I might go around and get all the mausoleums, just to get that 50k bonus per each one for runes, and like try to put it into my health or something, or possibly put it into my int. What's our int at? Our int is at 66, so we can get it up to 68. Casting the moon doesn't give me iframes though, is the problem. So we can try to get it into health. We can try to get it into endurance so we can carry a little bit more. Maybe have a secondary shield for when she waterfowls and just try to tank it. That's also a thing we can do. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Tomorrow might be Millennia Day. Well, I've been dreading this day, but we'll see. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be on regular time tomorrow. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll catch you later.